Have you ever walked into a grocery store with good intentions, telling yourself that today you will eat healthy, only to walk out feeling confused, tired, and unsure if you actually made the right choices? Because everywhere you looked there were labels shouting, healthy, natural, low-fat, and organic. Yet somehow nothing felt clear anymore. And this is where the story of why eating healthy feels almost impossible truly begins. Not because people don't care about their health, but because the modern food world has quietly become one of the most confusing places in everyday life. Eating healthy used to sound simple. Eat real food, cook at home, listen to your body. But today, that simplicity has been buried under marketing, busy schedules, rising costs, and a food system designed for speed, profit, and convenience rather than long-term health. The truth is not that people are lazy or careless. The truth is that the environment around food has changed faster than our understanding of it. The first reason eating healthy feels impossible is confusion, because food labels no longer mean what people think they mean. Words like natural have no clear definition in many places, and low fat often means high sugar, while high protein products can be loaded with additives. A package can look green, clean, and healthy on the outside, while being highly processed on the inside, and most people don't have the time or energy to read long ingredient lists after a full day of work. Food companies know this, and they design packaging to make products feel healthier than they are, using colors, fonts, and buzzwords that trigger trust. This creates a situation where even people trying to eat better feel unsure, because every choice feels like a guess instead of a decision. Another major reason eating healthy is difficult today is time, because modern life moves fast, and food preparation often becomes the first thing sacrificed. Many people work long hours, commute, take care of families, and juggle responsibilities, leaving little energy for cooking. When you're tired and hungry, convenience wins, not because you wanted to, but because it feels like survival. Fast food, ready meals, and packaged snacks are designed to fit perfectly into this tired moment, offering quick satisfaction without effort. Healthy food, on the other hand, is often presented as something that requires planning, cooking, and patience, which makes it feel unrealistic for everyday life, even though it doesn't have to be. Cost is another silent barrier that makes eating healthy feel out of reach. Fresh produce, quality proteins, and minimally processed foods often cost more upfront than processed alternatives. While unhealthy food may cost more in the long run through health problems, most people make choices based on what they can afford right now. When budgets are tight, people choose foods that are filling, cheap, and long-lasting, which often means refined carbs, sugary snacks, and processed meals. This doesn't mean people don't value health. It means survival comes first, and the food system rarely makes healthy choices the cheapest or easiest option. The food industry itself plays a huge role in making healthy eating difficult because it is built on profit, not wellness. Ultra-processed foods are cheap to produce, easy to store, and highly addictive by design, combining sugar, salt, fat, and texture in ways that trigger the brain's reward system. These foods are engineered to make people want more, not to nourish them, and once these foods become a daily habit, real food can start to feel boring or unsatisfying. This is not a personal failure. It is a biological response to foods designed to override natural hunger signals. When people blame themselves for lack of control, they are ignoring how powerful this system really is. Marketing also shapes how people think about food, especially through social media and trends. One week of food is called a superfood. The next week it's labeled dangerous. Eggs, fats, carbs, dairy, meat all take turns being praised and blamed. This constant noise creates fear and anxiety around eating, making people feel like every meal is a test they can fail. Instead of enjoying food, people worry about doing it wrong, which leads to restriction, guilt, and burnout. Eventually, many people give up on healthy eating altogether, not because they don't care, but because it feels impossible to keep up. Another reason eating healthy is hard now is that many people are disconnected from food itself. Fewer people grow food, cook regularly, or learn basic food skills at home. Cooking knowledge used to pass naturally from one generation to the next, but today many people learn about food from ads, influencers, or short videos instead of real experience. Without basic cooking confidence, healthy food feels intimidating, while packaged food feels safe and familiar. This creates a cycle where people rely more on processed food and feel less capable of making healthy meals, even though the skills are simple and learnable. Stress is another hidden factor that affects eating habits more than people realize. Chronic stress changes how the body processes food and increases cravings for high-calorie comfort foods. When people are stressed, sleep-deprived, or emotionally overwhelmed, healthy eating becomes harder, not because of lack of willpower, but because the body is seeking quick energy and comfort. In a world where stress is constant, expecting perfect eating habits from people is unrealistic. Food becomes a coping tool, and the food industry is ready to supply exactly what stressed people want. Healthy eating also feels impossible because it is often presented as extreme. Diet culture pushes all or nothing thinking, where you are either eating perfectly or failing. This mindset leaves no room for balance, flexibility, or real life. People feel like if they can't eat perfectly, there's no point in trying at all. In reality, health is built over time through small, consistent choices, not perfection. But that message is quieter and less dramatic than diet trends, so it often gets lost. Another problem is access, because not everyone has equal access to healthy food. Many communities lack nearby grocery stores with fresh produce, while fast food and convenience stores are everywhere. When healthy food is physically harder to reach, people naturally choose what's available. This is not a lack of knowledge. It is a structural issue that affects millions of people, making healthy eating feel like a privilege instead of a basic option. Technology has also changed how we eat. Food delivery apps make high-calorie meals available at any hour with just a few taps. Algorithms learn your habits and suggest foods you already crave, reinforcing unhealthy patterns. While technology offers convenience, it also removes natural barriers that once limited overeating, like effort and time. When food is always available, resisting it becomes harder, especially when it's designed to be irresistible. Even advice about healthy eating can make things worse when it's unrealistic. Telling people to just eat whole foods or just cook at home ignores the realities of time, money, stress, and access. This kind of advice can feel judgmental and discouraging, making people feel like they are failing at something that should be simple. Healthy eating should feel supportive, not punishing, but too often it feels like another thing people are doing wrong. Despite all this, the truth is that eating healthy is not truly impossible. It is just made unnecessarily hard. The problem is not individuals, it is the system around them. When people understand this, guilt begins to fade and awareness grows. Healthy eating doesn't have to mean perfect meals, expensive ingredients, or strict rules. It can mean small changes, like adding more whole foods when possible, cooking simple meals, paying attention to hunger, and letting go of perfection. The future of healthy eating depends on changing how we think about food, shifting from fear to understanding, from restriction to balance, and from blame to awareness. When people stop seeing food as a moral test and start seeing it as nourishment within a complex system, healthier choices become more realistic. Eating healthy today is not about fighting yourself. It's about navigating a world that wasn't built for health and doing the best you can within it. And once you see the truth, that eating healthy feels impossible not because you are weak, but because the environment makes it hard, something changes, because awareness gives you power. You stop blaming yourself, start questioning the system, and begin making choices that work for your real life, not an ideal one. And that is where healthy eating truly begins, not in perfection, but in understanding.